Well, that was an interesting day. We got up this morning, and the men were over here in the kitchen, and they were putting some leaves and berries on the ground and beating them with poles to a pulp. And I said, "What are you guys going to do today?" And they said, "We're going to go fishing." And I said, "Oh, that sounds like fun. I'll go." So the first thing we did was we took the leaves and the berries, and we beat them with the poles and to a mush. And then we took that and we jumped in a boat, and we went, about half an hour up the stream. And from there we got out of the boat and we started walking. And we walked through thick mud and jungle for about 45 minutes until we arrived to a tiny little stream. It was maybe no more than 10 feet across, and that was where we were going to do our fishing. So we left there had a couple of women with us and 2 children, and there was 2 men, plus myself. We left the women at one end with the children, and we went down river maybe 10 minutes, and we built a net, a fish trap, so that way as we walked down river fishing, that the fish would get caught in the net. And then once the net was built, I went back to the beginning where the women and children were, and they had put the mush in the water, and that was causing the fish to start to come up out of the water. It doesn't kill the fish. It just, the best I can tell is it takes the oxygen out of the water, because the fish start to come up to the surface, and they come up to the surface for just like a minute or a second, and they swim fast, and then they go back down underneath, and they come back up for a second, and they swim and go back down. And little fish, big fish, there was not a lot, but there was quite a bit of fish. And so the women and the children were in the water, and what you do is when the fish comes up out of the water, you take the machete and you whack it. If it's a bigger fish, you take your machete and you hit it to kill it, because some of the fish will actually have whiskers, and they'll stab you with the whisker, and can cause quite a bit of pain and blood and so on. And so you got to kill them first before you grab them. And so I climbed in the river with them and started fishing, and the guys just kind of disappeared. They evidently brought a gun, and so they went hunting. I didn't know at the time. They had gone hunting. And so there I was with the women and children, and kind of making a fool of myself trying to catch fish. And I missed more than I got, I'm sure. And a couple of times I'd swing the machete and I'd cut the fish right in half. And and it's not always easy to find the fish under the water, dark, murky water and muddy and full of leaves and stuff, and you got to stick your hand down in there. And so one time I searched and I only found half of a fish. I'd cut it clean in two, and I couldn't find the other half. And so when I brought the fish back to the basket to one of the ladies, I said, "Here's half a fish." And she told the others, and they all laughed at me. They thought it was funny that I only caught half a fish. I couldn't find the other half. But after maybe 2 or 3 hours of fishing, the men showed back up, and they had shot a nyuhe, a black jungle rat that's pretty big for rat-wise. It's probably the size of a small dog. And we collected all the rest of the fish and hiked back out to the boat. And the women climbed in the boat and started taking their machetes and cleaning fish. And half an hour later, we were back here at the house. I'm exhausted. I don't know how they do it all day, but they're happy because they've got a couple baskets of fish and fresh meat for supper as well, jungle rat. That was our interesting day.